Hi folks, Bill Longyard here. I'm bringing you a really fun video this time. It's about gas welding aluminum. Many of you have asked for something like this. I was out at Kent White's shop in Northern California a few weeks ago and asked Kent if he would give us a brief run through on gas welding, and he graciously agreed. Kent has done it all. He's a legendary figure in metal shaping. He learned his trade when working for Harrah's, the great automobile collector back in the 1970s. Bill Harrah, who used to own all those casinos. He had a fabulous automobile collection and a great restoration shop. And Kent went to work at that restoration shop, and he learned from all those masters who had learned their trade in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. So Kent carries forward. He's the living embodiment, I guess you could say, of that great metal shaping heritage in America. Kent put out a number of videos beginning in the 1990s, and one of the first ones I got was on gas welding aluminum. I have seen this thing so many times. You can tell it's old. It's a VHS. He offers this now on DVD, and I'll have the information at the end of the video. You can get it from his TM Technologies website. Okay, Kent is going to show us how to flux, how to join the metal, how to tack it, and then how to run the seam. He's using 063 3003 aluminum, probably the most common form of aluminum for home builders of automobiles and hot rods and things like that. And he's going to use his Miko midget torch with a number 2 tip. He'll use flux, a very lightweight hose, and other things that you can get at his website. I really recommend you visit there. Other than actually, watching the video, buying the video, I do recommend taking his class. Kent is a lot of fun to spend an afternoon with. He has so many great stories. He is an expert, and you will come away very satisfied with that kind of instruction. It was a great pleasure for me to film him doing this kind of work. Okay, there's going to be a bonus feature at the end of this video, so when Kent's done, stay tuned.
Now, I would like it if you were over my arm. I'm going to give you some room here, like this. If you can come and move in. Move into me. Okay. Now how does?
You're good. Real good. I'm up very close.
Are you?
Yep.
Now hang on. I want you to see the puddle really well here. Are you seeing the puddle?
Yep. Give us some dialogue.
Okay, the dialogue goes like this. I go up to the holes and then I bypass the holes. You got to stitch the holes together. The best instruction you can get is for somebody to blow a bunch of holes for you. So I'm doing you a favor here. And we're going to go ahead and weld on using this 032 wire. I know it sounds weird. I'm using wire that's half the diameter of what we're welding instead of equal to the diameter, but what the heck, it could be worse. We could have no wire at all, or be having to shear off little snippets, but we don't want to do that. We want to be civilized gentlemen with all the appropriate gear. So we're going to buzz along like this. I keep the top of the weld pool flat as I add the rod, and I think we're going to get good penetration. But I go along like that for a bit. Then we run into another hole, and I'll go to the other side there. We'll come back and do the holes, because doing them together is a much better thing than trying to tackle them individually. So I'm just going to go along here. You'll see I oscillate the torch a little bit and then I don't. It's really not that necessary to oscillate the torch. You can, but it's not that necessary. If you're looking for an especially rippled appearance or an appearance that has a lot of ringlets, then you can oscillate the two of them in pairs like this. You can oscillate the torch and the filler together. I've got a really hot flame here because I'm trying to get this done really quick so we don't end up boring the viewers. Boring you, the viewers. Sometimes you can stick the wire in there like that and then just back up and catch it again and do it. And there we go, the home stretch. Just welding it right up. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so I've got a few holes. Not a big deal. I'll come back here to the very beginning. I'll weld these up. Now, because I've used up all the flux, I'm going to flux the wire. You have to have flux on either the surface of the metal or on the wire, one or the other. You can't just pretend like you've got the flux when you don't.
What kind of flux are you using?
This is aluminum gas welding flux. It's not brazing flux. It comes from TM Technologies. We have the flux made for us by a large old American flux company. You might say it's all fluxed up. Okay, so I've got that one. I'm going to go to the hole here and I'll catch up some of the flux. You see I've got extra flux, so I'll...
Now what is your process for filling the hole? You're doing what and then what?
Okay, I'm just starting at one end of the hole and I'm encouraging all the extra metal. The metal hasn't really gone anywhere except melting back. So I go over the top of it like that. Then I take another little pass over the top like this and make sure I've got enough in there that the surface is happy. Now I'm catching more of the flux around the edges, which also warms it up, and I add a little rod and then add a little heat and then go over and blend it all in. We'll warm up the rod again here, and I'll paint some more flux on the rod like this here. Very good. And we'll come in and weld the next little hole. I've only got this one and 3 more, and fortunately the holes get a lot smaller as we go forward. So I'm actually feeding the rod in at a pretty good pace to fill the hole. Unfortunately, what you've got in any case is an abundance of filler metal where you had the hole. So you're going to have to take a little extra time with your die grinder and grind off, because it's all going to come through the back side in a big stalactite, and you're going to grind it off before you planish the weld. The next thing we'll do, of course, is planishing. Okay, another hole here. Just dab a couple of quick dabs with the filler, and then I'll pick up some filler here. Then in the last one, just a couple of quick dabs with the filler, and we're all done. Okay. So it's clean and all the way from one end to the other. Picking water up, quench the weld.
What do you do about the residual flux?
You have to clean it all off. It's corrosive. It'll lift your paint. So you can see hot water or hot surface with cold water is your best remedy. Steam is a good thing. In the production environments, of course, they use steam. Phosphoric acid is another good thing for cleaning flux off if you're going to be making a fuel tank or an oil tank, a water catch tank, something like that. So you can easily purge the tank and end up with a very clean inside. Okay. Alrighty then. So the net result of the job is a clean, very clean, uniform penetration with ripples that look as though you've welded it on the backside. This is a sign of a good, clean gas weld. Now I've used acetylene, but if I had hydrogen here, I'd do oxyhydrogen welding. It doesn't make any difference to me. I do either one. Okay, so we're going to buzz off the backside with a die grinder and then run it through the air hammer and we'll be all done.
Thanks for doing that, Kent. Much appreciated. If you want to see more of Kent in action, get my next book, Sheet Metal Fabrication for Car Builders. It's out September 2014. All right, I told you that there would be a bonus at the end of the video today, and I have that for you. Kent put those two sheets together by freehand holding them. One sat on the table and the other he had in his hand, and he just tacked along freehand. There is a benefit to freehanding two panels rather than clamping them. Some people say, oh, I got to clamp these things tight, and then you run your tacks, and that's the way to do it. It's actually not. You're better off to let one sheet flop freely. You tack it at the bottom, you go up, you do your next tack, and you're always adjusting that sheet to keep it level with the next sheet. Doing that, actually, you'll get less distortion than if you had all the clamps on it. Mark Barton was trained by Aston Martin in England back in the 60s. He was one of the last people to go through their apprentice program. And so he's going to show us some freehand tacking and welding. And this is not a long video, but it's a lot of fun to watch a real master at work here. So enjoy it. Thanks a lot.
Here is Steve from Oxford. Okay. What do burnt toast and peas have in common? Bruise. You might have done this between the ages of 15 and 20. Broke hard. It takes at least 18 muscles to do this. Yawn. Yawn. Captain Hepburn and Condoleezza Rice could have done this in Shelton. Ice skating. Ice skating. And we'll do this about 15,000 times in our lives. Sneeze. Believe it or not, you got 1 out of 5. Coming up tomorrow, our We Be One Away cash jackpot, $238 in the We Be One Away 5-question quiz for We Be One Away. If you're interested in a new career, St. Vincent's College is the place for healthcare education. St. Vincent's is one of the fastest growing colleges in the state and one of the best buys for career education. It offers a wide selection of degree and certificate programs, some that can open the door to a new healthcare career in 6 months or less. Take the first step by attending an open house on Saturday, March 23rd at 9 a.m. in Bridgeport. Reserve a place online at stvincent'scollege.edu or call 1-800-873-1013. St. Vincent's, the Health Career College. Buy your Powerball tickets now at your local Connecticut lottery retailer.